guys. No video this week. I thought it would be a great idea. I did this last year, doing a little Baja salsa. We just wrapped up the series here a couple weeks ago, and I know you guys are all right now in the middle of this high Sierra thing, but my dad has some fresh tomatoes, and I thought it'd be a great idea to do a video on how I make salsa, and we're gonna call it the Baja salsa. You're probably going, well, what's this white guy know about Baja salsa? Well, I'll put the link below, or I'll link here somewhere on the screen where you can watch all my Baja diaries. Here I have nothing but fresh ingredients. Okay, so we'll start out with, I got these from the store. I didn't grow these. These are Tomatillos. We're gonna do a little bit of this. These are dried chili diablos. Okay, right here, look at this. They have like a tobacco smoky smell. These are my favorite. If you don't know what these are Mexican limes. These are very popular in Baja. In fact, anytime I stop, you guys know this, I'll cut this in half and throw it in my Coca-Cola, and it's absolutely delicious. And then these are my dad's heirloom tomatoes. And then here he grew some jalapenos. And then we'll have 2 lemons. Now, I have a little pet peeve, like I do with my bikes and other things. I do not put any garlic in my salsas, okay? Garlic belongs in the Italian section, and we can do spaghetti one day. But as far as my salsa goes, this is pretty much it. And then salt and pepper, okay? So go ahead and hit that thumbs up and then subscribe. And let me know what kind of salsa you guys like to make down in the comments below. Let's get started. Okay, well, the first thing you're gonna do is get that onion in a saucepan. And here I use some vegetable oil. And you're gonna wanna saute that with these dried chili diablos. And you wanna just get those happy. I mean, I don't have it on high heat, but just enough to kind of brown it up a little bit, and then I turn the heat down just so those chilies can kind of come back to life. Next thing you want to do is you want to get the tomatillos and peel these little skins off. And you always want to find the little tiny ones that are really dark green. And the locals down in Baja told me those have the best flavor. Next thing you want to do is chop these little buddies into halves or even quarters, and what we're going to do is put them in the saucepan to get them nice and brown. So the vegetable oil, the chilies, and the tomatillos are all just making each other happy here in the saucepan. And now I'm pulling out the chilies and I'm going to put them in my blender. And I have a Vitamix. If you guys don't have one of those things are pretty bitchin'. Put a little water in there, shake it around, and I'm gonna zap these things for a couple seconds. Now, if you guys don't like the seeds in these things, you can obviously scrape those out. I like a little bit of seed in there, especially when you're sauteing the seeds. It kind of adds some flavor, at least I think it does. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do here is get a little cookie sheet pan, put my tomatoes on there, and I'm going to kind of sprinkle it with some olive oil and salt and pepper, and we're just going to put these in the oven at 450 just so they kind of blister, and I'm going to try to peel the best I can the skins off the tomatoes. So now the tomatillos are kind of coming to a rest here, and you can see they're kind of caramelized and they got some of that chili diablo on there. Is like I did in the beginning here, I forgot to mention, I chopped up probably a 1.5 onion right there. And this is where I'll start to kind of sprinkle in the Mexican limes. You could do it at the end, but I kind of like to get the flavors in there now. again, I don't know about your guys' salsa making, but this salsa won't be at its peak flavor in probably a day or two sitting in the fridge. Gives a chance of all that flavor to kind of get, marinated together. So here I put about maybe 4 Mexican limes and just kind of squeezed them, and then I ended up digging out those seeds I dropped in there. Okay, now I'm going to add the tomatillos in with everything here. And then I wanted to put a little bit of water in there, swish it around, make sure I get all that flavor out of that pan. Okay, now our tomatoes are done. Pull those out. And again, I'm not going to get probably all the skin off. There's probably better methods of getting it all off, but this way I can kind of peel some of it off. But hey, this is Baja Diaries salsa. We got to make it like they do down there. But by the way, they use a lot of canned stuff. Bet you didn't know that. Well, at least most people do down there. So all together, just a couple pulses. You don't want to turn this thing on full blast, depending on your blender, because then it's going to whip it up into a foam, which is really irritating. So low is best. And then again here, separately, I put some cilantro in a separate little chopper I have, and we'll chop this up and add it to the bunch. And then this is where you're going to want to taste test. Call a couple kids in the kitchen, call your wife in or your girlfriend if you want them to tell you that it's always hot or it's always too salty. And then add from here, maybe a little bit more lime or lemon. I usually add my lemons at the end so I can adjust accordingly. So there you go. Unfortunately, these things won't last through the weekend, but let me know how you guys make your salsa at home. And again, it always comes out different, but this batch came out with a little bit of smokiness from those chilies, and I don't know, I think I'm going to use them on everything this weekend. Eggs, tacos, pizza, you name it.